What's going on, everybody? My name is Paul. Thank you for joining me here at All In today. So this is going to be the final part of Act 4. We had to split up in 2 videos again, but yeah. So this is the last half of that, and it gets pretty wild. We find out a lot of information, and I'm excited to see how this game is gonna end. Still, like, Act 5 came out this year. Let's see how they wrap all this up. But all right, let's go ahead and get into the episode, guys. That distillery really messed me up. We should not have gone in there. An art room. Look at all those easels and tables on the bench over there. They call it an open-air gallery, or probably something more upscale like al fresco galleria. They say it's a popular design in foreign cities like Paris and New York. That may be true. The appeal is clear enough, I guess. Anyone wander in and out. There aren't any walls or doors. There's no roof either. Just kind of thin cloth membrane. Not quite a sheet or a tarp, but more like a drape or rolled out spider web, looking like it might bunch up and dissolve if it ever got rained on. No concern down here for the rain. Everybody thinks they're inside just because they can't see the sky, but it's a microclimate down here, and it surely does rain. Right now, they're exhibiting some intimate photographs of small town life. The highlight of the show is a large print of an old man's face. There's one of a small girl playing in a puddle. Pictures all run together. A small girl playing in a puddle. She's got her back to the camera. She's fussing with something, looking at her hands. Maybe she's stuffing a message in a bottle or folding a paper boat. The reviews have been good. It's a popular show, probably because of its relevance. The town depicted in these photos was very recently flattened to make way for a big museum project. We know about that too. That was the whole museum thing that we came across. I took a nap. Ezra helped Kate forage for mushrooms. I took a pill in here. Act 4, Scene 6. A grove. Creepy looking forest. She lit a second cigarette with the embers of the first one. She trembled, sweating a little, under a heavy coat. It was warmer near the door, but she was following directions. No smoking within 20 feet of the hospital entrance. Gently rolls a fallen branch and plucks something white from the underside. She holds it up for Ezra to examine. Pleurisabella porgens. The common name is angel wings. Isn't that pleasant? They have a delicate springy texture and they're tasty like sweet moss. Would you like a bite? Okay, sweet moss doesn't sound very tasty to me. Okay. Ezra takes a small bite and ruminates. What do you think? Is it supposed to be spicy? I think I got a bug. It does taste like moss. Is it supposed to be spicy? No. Go ahead and spit that out. It's okay. My mushroom hunting mentor told me it's useless to pretend you know mushrooms. They escape your erudition. The more you know them, the less sure you feel about identifying them. She taps the cover of a small red book she's carrying, and that's why I always bring my favorite guide. Kate points to a small mushroom growing in the dirt. Oh, here's an important one to recognize, though. Look, see the sort of greenish pallor of the cap? Amanita phallod. I don't know, I can't read these. That's Greek. Amida means mushroom, and phalloides means, never mind. It must be phallic. Mushroom penis. Can I eat it? It smells like honey. Yeah, sort of nauseating though, right? Sickly sweet. Death cap. That's the common name. It's killed a lot of people. This is a little mushroom includes a few Roman emperors. It's a revolutionary. Even the Buddha died from eating a mushroom when he was very old. That's just what they do. Clear away old things, make room for new things. Pretty important, right? I've always thought they deserved a little bit more respect. Would you like to help me look for a few more? I have a sort of shopping list. Great. Actually just grab any mushrooms that catch your eye and throw them in this bag. Let me know when you're done and we'll see what you got. Have fun. That's what the second rule of mushroom hunting. The first rule is ask Kate before eating anything, okay? Ezra investigates a rotting stump. Ezra pokes the base of a cypress tree. Ezra checks out a plastic bag washed up upon the island. The bag is ragged and waterlogged. He nudged it with a stick, coiling up a plastic thread and spreading it out onto the beach. He didn't like to play in the house. It was always too cold. It seemed to store up the cold at night and slowly discharge it in his bones during the day while the sun bounced feebly off the window. What are these? Like, what is going on here? I guess let's follow this thread for a while. This was the one where she lit a cigarette. Something about being outside a hospital. So she stood by a hot dog cart parked at the edge of the sidewalk. Kate kneels in the grass. Kate digs in a bare patch of dirt. Kate examines some tree roots. She spots a couple of intrigued growth along the roots of the tree, a speckled white ball and a cluster of softly glowing amber caps. The hot dog vendor tried to strike up a conversation with some immediately too personal questions. She decided to give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe that he considered it part of his job, she thought, to offer his customers some kind of counsel. Maybe it was a salve to his guilty conscience for selling junk food outside of a hospital. Kate examined the speckled white ball. Kate examines the glowing amber caps. The mushrooms are slick, sticky to the touch, like they're covered in smoldering honey. Kate cuts the bundle of mushrooms from the tree roots and puts them in the bag. Oh, gotta take all these mushrooms. Kate kneels in the grass. Kate kneels in the grass. She parts the grass with her garden knife, studiously combing the ground. Had she ever tried any alternative medicines? Acupunctures, homeopathy, Ayurveda, magical thinking? She said she never heard of any of those things. She fists a stray hot dog out of the pickle jar. Ugh. There are no mushrooms in the grass. Kate tries to wipe some mud off her boots. Kate didn't find anything. That's okay. Didn't find anything? That's okay. I just found this one. Kate takes a bundle of amber caps out of her bag. Let's move back over here. He didn't like to play in the house. It was always too cold. It seemed to store up the cold at night and slowly discharge into the bones during the day while the sun bounced feebly off the windows. He liked to play in the woods behind the house. He'd taken a knife from the kitchen, selected for its long serrated edge, meant for slicing bread, its teeth that reminded him of a saw blade. He was determined to collect some firewood to heat the house. There's no mushroom in this bag. Ezra closes his eyes and listens to the water and distant clicking of bats. He tripped on a protruding root and lay for a while in the mud, examining the pale upper branches of the sycamore tree, listening to the soft rumble of a faraway thunderstorm. Then louder, closer, and his hair stood on end, and there was a bird. Kate takes a bundle of amber out of her bag. Those are really cool. See how they kind of glow a little? It's not enough to find your way in the dark or anything, but it's still pretty amazing. Anyways, I make a tea out of them. Pretty good for headaches. Kate puts the mushrooms back in her bag. So, Kate, what do your parents do for work? I mean, you have a brother out there somewhere. Julian, he's going to come find me in the morning after the work is done. Yep, we work pretty hard. We used to spend part of each night looking for my folks, but now we pretty much just work. But maybe that'll change now I have some new friends. Do you have a family? I almost had a baby once. I left home when I was very young, not much older than you actually. I almost had a baby once. I learned a lot about difficult pregnancies, at least, so now I can help other women. I got very sick, and the only thing that helped me was funny-looking mushroom called collared earth star. No, that's how we help women now. I've basically been on my own since then. Well, that's not really true. Just about everyone who set foot aboard the Monkey Mammoth feels like family to me. Now I guess it's if anybody's family, then everybody's family. These are the only trees in this whole cave. Who planted them here? What's this island for? It looks like someone made it on purpose. Oh, right, it's kind of a nice simple shape, pleasantly minimal island geometry. I'm sure it could be natural though. I mean, I don't know if the island itself is man-made or not, but I guess I don't know much about this place really. It's supposed to be some kind of memorial to something. Will would know more. Sorry, it's a mystery. Ezra kicks the dirt. Months later, she came across a book of homeopathic medicines in a used bookstore and bought it. She thought it was mostly bullshit, but found the author's note on the unpredictability of mushrooms immediately compelling, spiritual even. She started collecting mushrooms on hikes, never eating them, just collecting, identifying and discarding. Eventually, she connected with the Lexington Mycological Society and began to study in earnest the medicinal uses of fungi. It's a mystery. I'll search for clues. She put out her cigarette and said goodbye to the hot dog vendor and spent the rest of the afternoon listening to the doctors and trying to understand the world as they did, as a list of discrete injuries to be mended. Ezra investigates the cypress tree. Ezra looks around the shore, examines a large stone monument. The monument is covered with lichen and painted text. Reads the text, suspects the lichen. Colorful lichen coats the surface of the monument, mixing with painted graffiti in some places indistinguishably. Investigates the cypress tree, looks around the shore. So we are going to look at the cypress tree. The tree smells spicy, oily. Inspects the bark. Looks up into the branches. Some of the branches have been trimmed recently. Ezra inspects the contents of his pockets. Alright, what have you got? There's some weird, colorful moss growing onto a stone-faced monument. I wondered what that sound was. It's a bunch of cats. What is up with these cats? That's so loud. Okay, anyways, there's some weird colorful moss growing on the stone-faced monument. That's called lichen. It's actually part of a fungus, a sort of weird hybrid. Not really my area of expertise, but some of its useful medicine properties and some of its poison. The usual. It's beautiful though, isn't it? What do you think that monument is for? I'm not sure anyone remembers. The branches on the tree are trimmed. Oh, good observation. So I guess somebody's still taking care of this place, or just practicing their tree trimming somewhere out of the way. Well, Ezra, I can't say I know what that all adds up to. Like I said, I wish Will were here. He'd have some local history for us. We can ask him back on the boat. Why are these damn cats so loud? Jesus Christ! Kate and Ezra look up at an old battleship drifting by. Oh, there it is, the Iron Pariah. Don't worry, it's just passing by. What do you think of it? I don't know much about it. It's firsthand, but I've heard things. I've heard it was in the Civil War. Supposedly there's nobody even aboard. No people, I mean. Someone told me she got close to it by accident, and she heard a strange wailing sound. What? I've heard it was in the Civil War. I guess they had boats full of soldiers and supplies going up and down the Ohio River, and they fought on the river, like, boat to boat with cannons or something, I guess. Machine guns? I'm no military historian, as you can probably tell. Anyways, I guess this is how I just got lost and somehow ended up all the way down here. Maybe it slipped into a cave up north. They're all connected underground. There's another version of the story where it didn't get lost. It was full of deserters. They came down here to hide. Maybe that's why it's a pariah. Supposedly there's nobody even aboard, no people, I mean. Yeah. I mean, there must be something on there. Life is everywhere. Rats, insects, I mean, there's cats. We can see them from here. Some kind of hardy mold. Part of it could be flooded and host to some of the eyeless fish that live in the echo. Hey, maybe there is some mushrooms growing in there, slowly consuming military rations from over 100 years ago. More mysteries. They do pile over time as people forget the details. Thanks for taking me to mushroom hunting. You can pick apples because they're right out there in the open. Mushrooms hide. You have to hunt for them. Look up old battleship drifting by. Ezra's parents shook him awake. They seemed alarmed but not immediately concerned. They led him back to the house, past the house, into the car. Dad said they were going to stay at the bus station for a while, the one with the little arcade with the car game he liked. Dad watched him closely in the rearview mirror, expecting Ezra to be excited or confused or scared, but he didn't feel anything. he hardly seemed to hear. In fact, he felt like he was observing the family car from a distance from far above, from the clouds. It's time to go. Not yet. I mean, there's nothing else I can do. Time to go, I guess. I mean, there's nothing else I can do. Hold on, I'm gonna try something. All right. A lot of trash floating over here. See that rough circle of rocky protrusions near the shore? It's more intricate than it looks. More than 2/3 of it's actually underwater. I haven't seen it myself, but listen to this. It's man-made and the rocks weren't placed according to their size, so what's visible is more or less uniformly random selection of the overall shape. It looks like it might be a spiral, all told, or maybe some kind of meditative labyrinth. At the head of it is a petrified oak stump. That was moved here from above ground, of course, decades ago. That's where the ceremony took place. The Lucks were married here. Many frail-tongued observers said they should just go with Lock or Luck, or split the difference with Look, or even Lick, or really anything else. But it was never going to happen. Marge Luck and Errol Lock met in prison. Greta Luck and Norm Luck were in high school sweethearts. Billy Luck and W.H. Luck met in line at the DMV. Their driver's license photographs were mixed up by the clerk, a mistake they discovered immediately but never corrected. Their engagement was welcome news for the family business, who had been looking for some opportunity to merge interests. The Locks ran a business printing press, and the Lucks managed a fleet of bicycle couriers. These were the Locks of Lock Large Animal Storage and the Lucks of Luck Family Nut Company. Surely someone in some branch of those two great trees had elephant husbandry on the brain. This is all speculation. The ceremony itself was humble and perfunctory, and it must have somehow involved these rocks. Maybe they walked around them in a spiral, like a symbol of their ever-tightening bond. Probably the rocks marked the boundaries between the two families. Lucks on the inner loops and Locks on the outer loops, or something. No. It's tightening their bond. It must have also involved the petrified stump. Neither family is particularly religious, but rumors persisted that the officiant wore a robe. Shannon helped me fix a mushroom stew in the kitchen. Shannon and her friends set out in the dinghy to deliver a package at the telephone exchange. Gonna leave the boat as much as we can. Gotta get off this boat. Scene 4, I'm at Act 4, Scene 8. Echo River Central Exchange. Kate, thanks again for your help. This is about as far as the tugboat can go. You know, noise and lights disturb the bats. I usually send Will, but he's up to his elbows in mammoth grease right now. So you'll pass through the Bat Sanctuary, which is really nice, by the way. Be sure to check out all the plaques and stuff from Cool Bat Facts. Plenty of time. Anyways, the Echo River Central Exchange, or excuse me, Consolidated Auxiliary Switch number 30. They changed the name when the power company took over. Anyways, it's just on the other side of the Bat Sanctuary. This package is going to Poppy. She's an operator. The operator. We'll meet you on the other side at Sam and Ida's for our scheduled early breakfast stop. Just follow the river. Can't miss it. Oh, almost forgot. You may or may not be interested. There's this kind of weird memorial sculpture on the way in, just before the Bat Sanctuary. I always recommend people at least stop and take a look at it. It's really sort of, I don't know how to say it. You should check it out. Okay, bye. Am I going or? Oh. I don't know how to go. We claim these helmets in the names of the folks who wore them and placed them here in their memory, but also as a spit in the greedy green eye of the power company who bought up our old mine and traded our brothers and sisters' safety for a little more yield, but only yielded 28 good men and women dead when the walls collapsed and the tunnels filled with water. Their lungs were black, but now they were washed clean and full of water too, and swept through hidden tunnels into an awful cave we never will find, and so we guess the water buried them for us, so let this here be the marker for their grave. And if any son of a bitch from the power company wants to take back these helmets as company property, to try it and see what happens. Hey, Elkhorn, that's the mine we met in, where your folk worked. Looks like it's been here a while. I sure as hell wouldn't mess with it. You think whoever wrote it is still that angry? I don't think you ever forget anger like that. Sure, angry, mainly just hurt. I don't think you ever forget anger or like that. No, I guess you probably don't. This probably stirs up. I mean, how do you... It's fine. I'm glad this is here. People should remember this happened. It brings back some anger for me, too. The other miners made this, but it should have been the power company. It's their fault. I'm glad this is here. Well, here we are, remembering, and I didn't even know it the first time around, but here I am remembering it now. I have to find Memorial, I guess. Yeah, that's a lot of miner helmets. Ruh-roh. What? You're looking at me like crazy, huh? Just sometimes I forget I don't even really know you that well. Are you feeling okay? It's nothing. You feeling okay? Oh, sure. It doesn't hurt anymore. My leg just kind of numb. Like it's not there. My shoulder too, actually. That's an old one though, from an accident. I'm lucky I just had some nerve damage there. It probably should have been a lot worse. You know, those guys from the distillery are just making the best of a bad situation. Just like the rest of us. Hey, one of them said to me earlier they could even help me take care of these medical bills for my leg. You know, get it all together on a plan, consolidated. What? When did you talk to them about that? This sounds like a really bad idea. When you talk to them about that? Oh, they're around. They're pretty much everywhere you look on this river. You really haven't noticed? Anyway, I have a feeling it'll all work out. Even this delivery, even for me, even this delivery. Yeah, we're almost there, right? Hell, at this point, I bet we could just take off the parking brake and that truck would roll into the 5-dog drive by itself. Listen, that old truck I've been driving belonged to my boss, Ira. Lysette's husband. To be honest, Ira didn't like me very much, but somehow Lies got it into her mind that he would have wanted me to have that truck someday. Maybe to make up for all the yelling he did, or maybe so his ghost could hold it over me. Just one more thing to feel like I owed him for. Anyways, they got their own truck at the distillery, and now that the antique shop is closing up, I've got no use for that old truck. I was thinking you could take it. I barely know you. That's very generous, but I don't need a truck. Sure, I could keep an eye on it for you until you get straightened out. Sure, okay, sounds good. I was trying to keep the light off so those fools would pass right by me. I still don't trust them, to be honest. I want to look at this plaque. I want to look at this plaque, damn it! How do I go? I still don't understand how to go forward. Drive. Drive? Drive somewhere. Visitors to the Echo River small-footed brown bat artificial hibernaculum and sanctuary are asked to take extra precautions in order to prevent the introduction of foreign fungal contaminants and the spread of white nose syndrome. Please do not visit the sanctuary during the same day in which you visited any cave known or suspected to host bats infected with white nose syndrome. Please do not leave your vehicle. If you must leave your vehicle, please remove shoes, clothes, jewelry. What? Shoes, clothes, jewelry, eyeglasses to ensure you do not bring any foreign spores ashore with you. Please do not touch any bats or structures. A small-footed brown bat is confused by light. If you are using a lantern or other artificial light source, be aware that it may be attracted and confused. If you are approached by bats, do not panic, relax, stop your vehicle, and switch off your light. Never touch a bat. Why are these guys following us around? They're creeping me out, man. It said if any bat approaches us to turn our light off. Bat fact. Ever talk with your mouth full? Bats do it all the time. Bats talk in extremely high frequency clicks, too high for humans to hear. Then they use their powerful ears to scan for echoes of these ultrasonic clicks. By comparing very subtle differences in the time these echoes take to come back, differences of just millionths of a second, bats are able to picture their environment with enough accuracy to catch a flying insect. Once a bat has caught an insect in its mouth, it's still flying, and so it still needs to avoid running into anything. So the bat keeps clicking away, even while they munch on a tasty bug snack. It may be poor table manners, but it's critical to surviving in the dark. I wonder how the other bats know whether one of them is really talking or just chasing a bug. I think when they're actually communicating, it sounds more like singing. Sometimes it's hard to know with people too. I'd like to hear that. Alright, let's keep going. Are we supposed to turn the lights out? Okay, so we can't go forward with the light out. That's a lot of bats. Damn, it's really dark down here. Are you still there? Sorry, just thinking. Shannon touches Conway's shoulder. Oh, there you are. I hope that's you. I was just thinking about my ma. I guess because we were talking about your folks a minute ago. To be honest with you, I don't think about her that often. Your cousin brought her up earlier, and she's just been on my mind. It's good your folks have a memorial. A lot of people, nobody remembers them when they're gone. You mean like your mom? You mean like you? You mean like you? Yeah, I guess so. I'm not the kind of guy you build a memorial for. The small-footed brown bat natural diet mostly consists of moths and other small insects that breed along the river. Here at the artificial hibernaculum and sanctuary, we use a combination of chemical snares and ultrasonic wards to repel all potentially contaminated bearing insects, and replace them with our own locally bred and spawned hypoallergenic antiseptic pseudomoths, which we call little gray nothing moths. You may be thinking that other moths and insects the small-footed brown bat would have been eating are very much relieved that their natural predator has found another food source. Not so. We've installed netting and highly effective moth traps along the river where the small-footed brown bat normally hunts to balance their escape from the food chain. But eating moths isn't the only systematic contribution these bats make. They also produce a potent fertilizer in the form of guano that help plant life thrive along the Echo River and the shore of Lake Leith. In order to minimize the sanctuary's impact on subterranean agriculture, we collect the precious guano here at the hibernaculum and manually distribute through the caves. It's a full-time job. Sounds like a lot of work. They eat fake moths. I wonder how bats would feel about their guano being taken like that. It's all fake except for the bats. Yeah, I guess so. Reminds me of the guy Donald and his crew down there with a computer. Right. It is reassuring to know someone's taking care of everything for these little bats. Kind of bothers me, like they're tricking the bats. Yeah, in this case, I think it's about survival. I mean, that's the bottom line. What's the difference? Like the folks in the mine, you said they used to buy stuff, fans, canaries, all those little trinkets to make it bearable. There's still a lot of stuff down here. It feels cluttered but human. I just mean all people need enough to pretend we're home, and we can make it anywhere. Sure, people can, but what about bats? You get kind of philosophical when you're drinking. Did anyone ever tell you that? Yeah, I guess I do. Nah, this is nothing. I used to have this drinking buddy who would get loaded and tell the weirdest dream riddles, like, which is more musical, a truck passing by a factory or a truck passing by a music school? Count your blessings. What's up with that umbrella? Look at these trees, though. Why are there just umbrellas everywhere? Better hang on a minute. Feels like there's some kind of hovering. There's one kind of hovering over me. They don't really hover though, do they? I mean, how could they? I guess a lightning bug will hover by beating its wings really fast. Maybe they can do that too. I used to watch lightning bugs in the evening, out at the edge of the woods. Lysette's kid Charlie, who loved them, you know, he ended up going to college and studying astronomy. And I like to think he got his love for stars from those nights watching bugs. Anyways, me and Charlie, sometimes we try to see one of them up close. You lay in the grass and you have to be totally still for a while. Like one of those wax sculptures, don't even breathe, like this. Oh, you can't see me. I was doing the watching lightning bugs in the grass face. I think I can imagine it. It feels like we're talking on the phone or something. Yeah, you've seen it already. When I fell in the mine, kind of stunned and shocked. Hey, who were you talking to earlier when we met in the mine? You were on the phone with someone. I forgot about that. My ex. Alejandra. We met in school and we're still pretty close. She has kids now, so we don't talk much. She has kids now, so we don't talk much. I was just venting on the phone about my landlord situation. She called me to chat about something. I was just venting about my landlord situation. She didn't really have time for it, busy doing other things. She was very patient, but I could tell she had no idea what I was talking about. I know how that is. When they just babble, 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 babble. You don't know what they're talking about, but you just listen anyways. She's very patient. It gets harder and harder to reconnect. I actually hate talking on the phone. It gets harder and harder to reconnect. Yeah, I know that's true. Alright. Let's keep moving. Grab that radio. Another bat fact, huh? White nose syndrome is still largely a mystery. We suspect that the white fungal growth, which appears on bat faces and wings, irritates and confuses them, causing them to awaken early from hibernation and venture outside, depleting the stored energy they need to survive through the winter. But biologists are nowhere near curing the disease. It spreads quickly and it is highly fatal. In this way, white nose syndrome has drawn some comparison to the colony collapse disorder as suffered by bees. White nose syndrome and colony collapse disorder are sudden, violent, and mysterious. Will honeybees and the small-footed brown bat be two or more lost species wiped out in the geological blink and forgotten in natural history? It's possible that the cure won't be identified in time, so the sanctity of the artificial hibernaculum is our best hope of preserving them. As you leave the Echo River, please make sure your vehicle and clothing are free of hitchhikers. Lysette's sick. I mean, she's old. We're both old. Hell, you're about the youngest person I know right now. Oh, and the kid, maybe blue by a people's calendar. In dog years, though, I bet she has us all beat. So, I'm old too, sure, and I forget stuff all the time, especially if I had a few and my brain is swimming. But I mean, lies, it's all gone away. She's losing words you'd never think you'd lose. Not just like the streets she grew up on, but the names of colors and types of furniture, or I mean, even the word furniture. She'd say, we've still got a few nice pieces in the, what's that I call the shed, where we put the bigger pieces, the beds and the couches, and I'd say, aw, Liz, why do you keep teasing me about that time I fell asleep in the furniture shed when it's so damn comfortable in there? I tried to help her keep some dignity, you know? That's all I had to offer at the end. She has a sister in Nashville who will take good care of her, and now that I'm not around the shop all the time, What was the older guy's name? Used to make deliveries for the shop. He smells like leather. Ear was always yelling at him, but too drunk to work on the day. On the one day he could have been in the right place at the right time. She means a lot to you. Are you worried about losing her? You feel pretty badly about that accident. Do you think she blames you? No, but it's awful to say, but sometimes I kind of wish she would. That way, at least she could have eventually forgive me. You know what I mean, right? I know exactly what you mean. I'm sure she'd forgive you. Okay, I think the bats are clearing out. Yeah, that's pretty sad about Lysette. And it ends up Lysette and him had they had a fling going on after her husband's death, but it just was never meant to be. This poor bastard, man. Is that a light at the end of the tunnel? What did that say? What is this place? Who's that kid? Careful up there. Can't drive your new truck if you slip and break your legs. I'll be careful. You two, try not to make it any more bad deals while I'm gone. Just don't fall asleep. Try not to make any more bad deals while I'm gone. Huh, I'll just be floating along down here. I just mean keep your eyes open and don't look back. Oh, hi, I remember you. Yeah, that was the kid that we met in the museum. What are you doing down here? Do you know where the telephone exchange operator is? What are you doing down here? I'm just exploring. I like dark underground places. I'm a romantic. Really, what does that mean to you? So am I think. I think of myself, I'm more classical myself. What does that mean to you? It means I like poems and rivers and mysteries. Okay, bye. Okay, well. No, alright. Are you the telephone operator? Dashiell? Hello, Dashiell. Could be bypassed by another capacitor at 100 nanofarads to reduce noise. What are you working on? If your circuit's too noisy, you should tie those floating pins to the ground. Huh. That's a pretty good idea. They're probably picking up all the kinds of radio interference. Dashiell Morse. Pleased to meet you. We don't install this type of phone for customers anymore, but there are quite a few of them still in circulation. Anyway, the new system doesn't source enough current to ring these old bells, so I'm trying to come up with a workaround. Maybe a little box customers could attach right before the wall jack. I'm a bit of a circuit geek myself. Sounds like a good gig, fixing old phones. I'm a bit of a circuit geek. I bet. I mean, you seem very comfortable with electronics. Is this your first time down here? Yeah, I can tell. Your eyes can't quite adjust to the light. It takes some practice. Believe it or not, I've been coming here since I was a kid, for one reason or the next. Back then, this place was a train station. It's true. They had bats then, too. But they were considered a nuisance. What did you come here for as a kid? The train station, what happened to it? What did you come here for as a kid? I usually came here with my grandmother. We took the train out to town she lived in, or in another direction back to my parents' home. In my memories, it was always cold. Winter, I guess. And sometimes now I walk along the tunnels, run my hand along these wet stone walls and close my eyes, ring of footsteps and drip, drip, drip of the grimy stalactites. Well, the river shifted, and this place is slowly filled with water. Ooh. Carry the trains away with the current. It does that, the river, and I don't begrudge it. It was a good reminder that everything we have borrowed is that everything we have is borrowed, even trains. Eventually, someone at the Bureau of Reclaimed Spaces heard this place was still empty, so they moved the phone company in here. I returned here as a young lineman, a skill I picked up in the wartime, running telephone wires behind enemy lines. We used trees instead of poles. I miss that, actually. They were easier to climb. It's just as well. I'm in no shape to climb anything these days. The closest I get is patching up the wiring in the crystal room for the WEVP folks. WEVP, that's community television. I volunteered there for a number of years. I know everybody over there. Ralph, Sherry, Weaver, Dave. Weaver... Weaver? Sure. Weaver Marquez. That's funny. I was just thinking about her. Yeah, I met her a couple times at the TV station. I suppose I didn't know her too well. She handled the archives and I was helping with wiring and stuff. She really seemed to know her way around all that gear, though. She had a head for signals, I think. No idea where she ended up. I guess she probably not too popular around the station anymore, but I always liked her. Listen, miss, if you're interested in the WEVP, you should go talk to them directly. They're always looking for volunteers. Take the ferry over to the silo. There's a mail stop there. They don't have a sign or anything. Just ask around. I guess I'll get back to the damn old ringer. Poppy's just a little further down if you're dropping off that package. Nice chatting with you. Right on. Abel and Eloise, the lovers carriers. Bred for racing, Abel and Eloise spent most of their lives as carrier pigeons and the employees of Echo River Avian Post. They retired here after Abel was disfigured in an accident with a light aircraft. Aw, man. But old habits were hard to die. Abel and Eloise would pick up scraps of paper from the ground, the trash, and even pull them out of the pockets and deliver them to others nearby to delight or embarrassment. Word spread, and travelers passing through the tunnels began to come prepared with love letters, poems, and other written desires to pass along indirectly through these pigeons. After a hard day's work, Abel and Eloise would always be found nestled closely together in a disused newspaper stand set aside for their habitation, and that's where we left them. Ooh. Ooh. What's up, Poppy Carlo? Poppy Gloria? Gloria Poppy? Poppy, just set it right here by the lamp, sweetie. Thanks. Actually, just a minute. Who does this parcel claim to be from? Reading label. Consolidated Power Co. Laszlo Electronics. That's weird. There's no label on it. Well, if we're lucky, it's chocolates from a secret admirer and not a snake from an assassin. So, who are you? Do you work for the post office or the tugboat? Only asked because I haven't seen you before. Was that you I heard chatting down the hall? Yeah, it was, I just met Dashiell. I'm just doing Kate a favor, dropping out. Yeah, I just met Dashiell. He's been working on that obsolete ringer, hasn't he? Poor Dashiell. Or Dashiell? I don't know how to say his name. You know, he's not really... He was let go a while back. A long while, actually, when they started restructuring. He was one of the first to go. But he talked them into letting him come up every day and fiddle with some of the interminable projects. Interminable. I don't know. He says it's to keep a long gap from growing his resume, but I think he just has nothing better to do. One of those old men who needs work, you know, doesn't know how to be any other way. Well, there are no real jobs here, but there are fake jobs, I guess. It wasn't always like this. When I came to work at the Echo River Central Exchange, there was 12 of us. Laura, Edna, Meg, Kara, Mary, Louise, Liz, Hester, Angie, Wilma, Connie. I was number 12. Connie and I were hired on the same day, but she showed up early. Mary finished college and Hester was fired for snapping at a rude caller, but he had it coming, and I hear she did just fine on her own. So they hired Beryl, Jana, and Sachiko, which brought us up to 13, and that was as many operators as we ever had here at one time. And the power company came along buying up all the lines, and one day they took the exchange as a throw-in. Like it was nothing. Nothing. They started phasing us out. Edna, Meg, Kara, Lois left one Friday evening and were asked not to come back on Monday morning. Beryl saw the writing on the wall and quickly found employment as a private PBX. They had Jana and Liz stop routing calls and write up some kind of best practices documents instead. It was their final task as exchange employees. Some of the girls were reassigned to other divisions. Connie and I think was checking residential meters. Sachiko and Wilma were moved into energy sales, cold calling businesses to see if they needed to upgrade their electricity plan. At least they were still on the phone. Then it's just Loretta, Angie, and me. We were swamped. The hours were hell and hard on the throat. The voice with a smile became a croak. I was gargling warm salt water in the break room, sipping from a thermos full of hot honey broth stashed under my chair. Oh, I brought a lot of extended techniques to the switchboard. Dude, I'm the same way. Jesus Christ, all this reading, man. Oh, I miss when these things were only like 5 acts. Not acts, but 5 chapters in an act. Now they're getting to be long. Oh, and like it just seems like there's a lot of this stuff that is just padding. I don't even know what it is. Like I care about these main characters right here, but we're meeting so many characters along the way. And for what? Like, will we ever see Dashiell again or this guy? Like, why do we need to know about these bats? Like, I just want to know about Conway and I want to know about her and like all these Shannon. Like I care about the main five. I don't really care about all these side characters. Sounded pretty good to me. Yeah, I'm impressed. He's got high voltage. He's got the voltage too high. He'll burn out the relay. Yeah, I'm impressed. So where was I? Hot honey broth and warm salt water. Extended switchboard techniques. Warm water. Right, and a healthy dose of slippery elm. I got that one from Kate. It sounded like he just left. So after a few months, it was just me. A new automation strategy was announced, and this place was rechristened Consolidated Auxiliary Switch Number 30. Are you lonely? If it's automated, what do you do here? It's not fully automated. There are still gaps in the functionality that need a human touch. I'm sorry. And it really is all about the touch here. Sound is a vibration and touch you feel in your ear. So my voice is my touch. When we're talking, we're touching, even on the phone. That's an electric touch, and an intimate little shock that makes your tiny hairs tremble. But that's not even what I mean when I say it's all about the touch here. When the power company first tried automating this old exchange with fancy new transistor arrays, the switchboard caught on fire. It was just too much, too fast. So they tried using some clunky old mechanical relays, but then the calls were getting mismatched and out of sync. It was a nightmare. Their technicians determined that the phone system down here had been designed ad hoc over decades around the specific tempo of its human operators. So short for replacing the whole thing, not to mention all the wiring. They'd have to work out the exact timing for every little human gesture that goes into routing a phone call. And that officially is my role here. I run the switchboard for the whole exchange. I just don't care about any of this. Once the work of 12, I'd like to remind you they have some... It's just kind of like gentrification. It's about this old time period that's moving into a new time period. We know that part of the story takes place in the future. And then part of our main story right here is taking place in the past. And it's the past that is now, moving forward is pretty much what's going on here. I get that. I know what you're doing. But there's too many of these side characters in these later episodes. And some of it's interesting and then some of it's not. Like, I don't care about any of the bat stuff here. I don't care about any of this switchboard stuff here. I don't care about any of this. Like, it's just padding, it feels like. Unless they can just... But then also every time I'm like, what is all this padding? They then wrap it all back together. Like, we're learning more about Charlie and we're learning more about these other characters. But damn, like look at all this just word vomit that I just had to read. Like, why am I having to read all this, man? It's just too much. Like, I feel like some of this should have been edited out. I feel like they're like too highfalutin for their own good. Like, there's just some of this stuff we don't need to know about, nor do we care about. Do you miss talking to callers? Interesting. What's the machine like? There's something that bothers me about the process, besides the fact that I'm training my replacement, who isn't even human. Here's what I mean. How long do you think it should take to time my every move and recreate that timing in an automated switchboard? Rough estimate. A couple days. That's what I said, but this has been going on for over a year, and a very dark thought has started to nag at me. What if there is no cheap machine that's going to replace me? What if it's cheaper just to keep me here, filling in for the rhythm of the operators? And what if I'm the cheap machine? Why don't you just quit? In this economy? No, you're probably right. Working in silence for peanut shells, waiting to be replaced by a robot. It doesn't sound very dignified, does it? The reality is that I've been working here for my whole adult life. I came here as a girl and I'll leave as a middle-aged woman. I don't know if I'm ready to be her yet. I sound like Dashiell. Oh, the parcel right over there by the lamp is fine. Thanks for dropping that off. Take care. Think of me when you dial 0. Uh She returned on the dinghy alone. She had a strong and sudden urge to shut the motor off and let the current take her, but she couldn't work out where that impulse came from, so she did her best to resist it. She met a family of 5 on a flat-bottom skiff. She met a guitar player pedaling a floating bicycle with his dog in tow. She met a flower salesman on a raft. She met a painter in the shipwreck. He said they took turns. The water was cold and the floating bicycle, while technically marvelous, wasn't quite buoyant enough for the both of them. Swimming is hard work, the hardest work that dog had ever done, he expected. Wait, did I not bring Blue with me? They had been traveling this way for the most of the night, struggling through the icy water, stopping to recover when they could find a rock large enough to start a small campfire. He had his belongings stuffed into a weathered guitar case at the end of the thin rope. It floated pretty well, so he only had to keep an eye on it and occasionally free it from a rock or some driftwood it was caught on. She asked if he had a guitar in his case, or just clothes. She invited him to ride away on the dinghy. He appreciated the offer, but they weren't in a hurry. She met a family of 5 on a flat-bottom skiff. The boat was loaded to capacity with black plastic bags and a few larger pieces of furniture wrapped in a blue tarp. 3 paddled, the 2 adults, an older child, and 2 younger children slept. They'd been traveling all night, first by car and then for the last few hours by boat. Hungry and tired, they didn't plan to stop until they reached West Virginia, where a relative had offered to take them in. But the adults were happy to take a break from paddling. In weary silence, they asked her about the river journey. She said that she was on the way to see Sam and Ida. She told them about the memorial. They were sympathetic, no minors in their family, but he was once injured at a warehouse job and had to fight for disability pay. They knew what these companies were like and what it was like to have to assert your humanity to them. They wished her well and paddled towards West Virginia. She met a flower salesman on a raft. They floated along in buoyant pots, bobbing untethered. He corralled them with a long pole in a stream and small adjustments. Ooh. She leaned out over the water to get a closer look. He just started work for the day. So his stock was full. He pushed a few bouquets her way. First was a rustic bundle of mums. He suggested it would make an appropriate apology bouquet. Next, a simple mixture of snapdragons made to look wild. She thought it looked eager, and he agreed. Finally, a rustic mass of blue-petal flowers of many different types. He said it was for a particular kind of person. If it didn't remind her of anyone specific, she better move on. He drifted away with the current, pushing his flowers along with the raft. She gave in, shut off the motor, and floated it for a while. Then she knew what she'd be craving, a moment of silence. I hope we didn't leave Blue. Also, I guess Conway just totally turned into one of those skeletons and is gone, but he didn't even finish his delivery. What if this game ends and you never see Conway again? Like it's just Shannon for the rest of the way. Alright, cannot control it. Act 4, Scene 8. Sam and Ida's. What's getting pulled up? Hopefully I can check it when I get back down there. Just in time, we've already finished eating, but we're about to place a to-go order for Clara. She's back on board, getting ready for her show. Take a look at the menu. I'm sure there's something you'll like. Ida is a bit of a local celebrity for her cooking, I mean. Hey, Ezra was just asking about you. He's around the corner playing a video game. Maybe go let him know you two are back. Or, where's the old man anyways? That's a good question. Aw, bad luck. You'll get it next time. That's not a video game. Hey, got a quarter? He's almost got this. It's true. Sure, I have 1 quarter. Don't waste your time. Those machines are right. Sure, I have 1 quarter. Thank you. So, where is... They took him. Damn. Yeah, he really got himself into a situation there. Yeah, I'm gonna go sit down. Cool. The food is good here. I think everyone else is finishing up, but you could probably get something to go. Desra, alright, Claw Maestro, let's give it another shot. So let's see what's on top of the pile here. There's a stuffed octopus, a plastic bag full of clamshells, a cowboy hat, and some big headphones. I want the octopus. The octopus has a leg wrapped around the boombox underneath it. The shells are pretty clear, but I don't know if the claw can really grip the bag. The cowboy hat is in the corner, so it's kind of tricky to tell if it's wedged in or not. This headphones might be a good bet, but I can't see the cord. It could be wrapped around something. What are you going to try for? I want the octopus. Wow, alright. I admire your confidence. Okay. When I put the quarter in, you'll have about 8 seconds to grab your prize. The octopus is square in the middle. Let me know if you need help lining it up. I've got a slightly different view of the field from up here. Ready? Here we go. Johnny inserts the coin and the machine awakens. This is kind of like the Tetris theme a little bit. The claw hovers in front of the left corner of the machine. Does this look right? You're too far to the left. You need to push it back farther. The claw hovers halfway across the... Does this look right? You need to push it back farther. Push it back farther. Push it back farther where? Up. Does this look right? Yeah, looks good to me. Go for it. Okay. You said go for it, so push the button, drop the claw. Claw drops and grabs the octopus. The octopus is attached too securely to the plastic boombox beneath it. It slips from the claw's grasp. Ah, no good. I had a feeling the octopus was a little too comfortable in there. Hey, listen, it sounds like that old man you were following around. I guess he had to leave. Is he coming back? Is he okay? I should go with him. Oh, no, that's not a good idea. It's not a place for kids where he's headed. Anyways, I don't know what kind of plans you have now, but if you need help figuring out your next move, you can always talk to me and Miss Junebug. I just wanted to make sure you know that. Could I keep going with you? I'll meet up with Julian when we get back above ground and go back to the museum. I don't know what I'm gonna... I have no clue what I'm gonna do. Me neither. You're in good company. Hey, maybe we still have time to poke around this place a little. They have some pretty wild stuff in here. And that's a bummer. Hey, did you see this? They keep a table full of fake food over here. I've never known why. Actually, I think it might be real food coated with the shellac or something. Preserved. Oh, and look, this tentacle looking thing is half eaten. This is someone's meal they didn't finish. Tentacles? Gross. I dare you to take a bite. Haha, you first. Okay. Whoa, hold on. I'm just kidding. If Sam and Ida preserved this half-eaten meal, it must have been pretty important to them, right? Maybe it belonged to someone they care about. Like a beloved uncle had a mid-meal stroke, so they kept it in his memory. Yeah, like those sunflower seeds my folks left behind. My folks left behind a bag of sunflower seeds, but I threw it away. I should have kept it, right? No, I didn't throw it away. Oh, I'm sure your folks are fine, though. Are you worried about them? Yes, it's weird that they just disappeared. No, they're gone. There's nothing to worry about. I just missed them. No, it is kind of weird that they disappeared. Yeah, listen, that's okay to be worried. You're doing fine. Weird. Somehow I thought it was his truck and delivery and all. It was. That's what she was saying, but he gave it to her before they took him away to Shannon. But you're going to deliver it anyway. Why? He's my friend. He needs my help to finish the job. It's on my way. Somebody's waiting for those antiques. Who is my friend? That's right. He's our friend too. Johnny and I will help you unload when we get there. To Johnny. Lift with your legs, Cricket. Yes, ma'am. Damn, dude. So, how was everything to Junebug? How was the sweet cave snail? Devastating. You're a killer, Ida. Well, I can't take all the credit. Sam came across a whole cave snail colony down there about a year back, and we've been leaving rock candy for them to gorge on since. We just started harvesting earlier this month. Yes, it's all about patience down here. Everything grows more slowly in the dark. There's a fish in Lake Leith that lives to 200 years, and its flavor profile only develops at about 75. I've got a pot of bones in there that's been stewing for at least a week. I don't even remember why I put them on. Come to think of it, I don't even remember what kind of bones they are. Oh, we need one for the road. Clara said she wanted, something primordial, she said. What does that mean? Kate reviews the menu. She must have meant something simple. She must have meant something old-fashioned. She must have meant something from very deep in the lake. Ah, could be. Hand Shannon the menu. Here, you pick. I'm no good at this. Inspects the menu. Shannon, I think she'd like salamander log, sweet water cuttlefish spread, balsamic spinach. Shannon turns this page. She'd probably like crab and tomato cake with Kentucky remoulade, mollusk cakes with orange butter sauce, aged blind cavefish, and small salad. Blind salamander black bean soup, mussel hot pot, poached barnacle. Lamb and cavefish gumbo, cedar plank, blind prawn with parmesan red crust. Okay, grilled squid wrap. Basic steamed crab, mollusk and spinach fritters, Ida smoked crayfish. None of this actually sounds good to me. Blind salamander. No, I want that one thing. Deep water prawn, cavefish. Yeah, cavefish and black. Yeah. That's what we want. Good choice. Your friend will love it. I'll have that right out. Let's get some good old cavefish and some bean cakes. Leans over the table and carefully examines preserved food and drink. He prods a half-eaten tentacle. He gently compresses a pea-sized eyeball on the plate. He runs his fingers along the crayfish claw. The surface of the claw is completely smooth. And that was the small one. They're asymmetrical. Sorry I startled you, sweetie. Whose food is this? Why didn't they finish their meal? Why is it hard? Whose food is this? This is the diver's table, and this was the diver's meal. This food was about 15 years old, it's true. Things were different then. Nobody came to eat here. We were fighting just to keep the lights on. Sam, my husband Sam, was depressed. We couldn't catch anything. That was part of the problem. Most of what we served was shipped in frozen or dried, and I just threw it in the fryer. We've both come a long way since then. Well, 2 young men came in for dinner, seasoned divers, they said, over 10,000 hours between them in Lake Leith alone. They'd been out all day salvaging parts from a riverboat wreck and had worked up a fierce hunger. They said they ordered the whole menu without even looking. It was a short menu in those days. I sat them right here and they went back to the kitchen. Sam was at the next table doing a Sudoku and drinking malt liquor, his usual routine at the time. An hour later, I was cleaning up and Sam came bursting into the kitchen. Ida, he said, kind of frantic, these divers are still hungry. Bring them another course. And I said, they already ordered the whole menu. Sam said, make something new. Keep making up dishes, whatever. Just keep bringing us out food. So I did until the small hours of the morning. I made up so many new dishes that night I could write a book, and it was good, inspired. But I was working so hot and fast at the burning edge of inspiration, I didn't think to write any of it down. And I was so wrecked with exhaustion the next day I knew I couldn't remember what all I'd done in the kitchen. Sam thought we could take a photograph of the leftovers, but we couldn't get the lighting right, so we just shellacked the whole table. Now when I need inspiration for the menu, I come and look here and think about all those ingenious dishes I threw together for those divers. Of course they didn't pay their full bill. I heard one of them complaining to the other, let's just pay half and let them charge the other half to whatever demon in the kitchen kept making up food faster than we could ask for it. But it all worked out. Things have really turned around since then. This place is actually pretty popular now. The success of and our expanded menu inspired Sam to. He started bringing back the most magnificent ingredients from his nightly dives. I better get back to work. Stay right here, sweetie, and I'll bring you a treat on my way back. Okay. I mean, that's pretty weird. What kind of treat? Is it gonna have an eyeball? Or some kind of tentacle? That must be Sam or whatever his name is. Ew! Ew! It's so wiggly. Well, buddy, I guess you're the catch of the day. The one and only. Huh? So, what are you? You look like, well, some kind of ill, I guess? Kind of a mopey little guy, huh? I can see it in your eyes. You smell like kind of dusty, dry. Where the hell have you been swimming? Skin feels sandpaper, huh? Well, she'll figure something out. I think I'll call you Curious Ill, Sandpaper Ill, Serpentine Gray Ill. Welcome to Salmon Eaters, the one and only Serpentine Gray Eel. I hope you enjoy your stay. I mean, not too much. Have you ever seen a creature like me before? You were pretty far down there. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm the first, except you were There were two divers who went before me long ago. Maybe that was before your time. How old are you anyways, I wonder? They ate here once, back in the bad old days. Two young guys, could have been brothers maybe. I was over in the corner with my coffee and crossword. She said that you were drinking a malt liquor. Was it malt liquor or was it coffee, bro? I hadn't been able to catch a thing, so I'd have just fried up something from frozen. Well, these guys were hungry enough to eat it and asked for more, and they did at least as much talking as eating. See, like I said, they were divers, and like I said, they might have been brothers. They had a kind of rivalry going on between them or something. Ida was about to write up their check, but I slipped calmly and quietly into the kitchen for a minute and told her to just keep bringing out food. I figured they wouldn't notice, caught up in their boasting as they were, and I wanted to listen. They went back and forth for hours about all the deep and dangerous dives they'd been on, new tunnels they discovered, all the weird creatures they had encountered in the weirdest depths of the Lake Leith. It was like a dance, no, like a boxing match. Each story went deeper than the last, and I listened to every word of it, memorized every description of every tunnel and diving route they discovered. That's my map now, you see. For 15 years I've been using routes these two young divers discussed right there at the table. Yeah, I could write a guidebook to the depths of this lake, but I don't dare. Some would steal my good diving spots, and then where would we be? See, people come here from all over just to try our daily catch because they know it's unique. Ain't you proud? Since I can't write any of it down, I just preserve the table where they had their meal, so I can look at it to jog my memory. Like they were eating pickled crab when they talked about that shipwreck full of salamanders. Pretty clever, huh? It's my own secret code. Well, I'll be straight with you. Serpentine Gray Eel, there is one feature of this arrangement that I find unsettling. In fact, I lose a decent amount of sleep over it. I told you those boys were competing, right? One-upping each other. I mean, each getting wilder and more adventurous as they traded tales. Well, I navigate mostly in the dark down there. Just going by touch and a kind of mental picture I can construct from their detailed boasts. And every time I explore a new diving spot from those recollections, I have to weigh it all against the risk that I'm headed right into a dangerous falsehood. One of those men could have felt for a moment like he was losing some ground in their little duel, so he would have slipped a fake one in there. Maybe told a fib about some dive he went on and found a colony of blind shrimp living in a discarded refrigerator, and when I get down there, my diving bell cracks open on a sharp rock where he said that fridge would be. And that's the end of Sam of Salmonitis. To be honest, that possibility puts the fear of death in me every time I touch the water. That's pretty crazy. That's a weird thought, but I feel you. Maybe you should put lights on it so that you can see if it's gonna crack. I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't know much about diving bells, but so we're about to eat this eel? I mean, is that what's going on? I don't really want to eat that eel if it feels like sandpaper. That thing is still wiggling, boy. Who looks at that and is like, yeah, I want to eat that. I'm glad I ate here. I mean, come on, man. Hey, Sam, good haul tonight? Well, we'll see what we can make of it. Yeah, pretty good, I think. I hit some trouble down by the narrow tunnel. Some kind of fast-growing freshwater barnacles just about sealed it up. I picked away for half an hour before I gave up and went around the other way. But I got the catch of the day. That's the important part. That's what people travel for. What's the catch today? Pretty cold here for diving, right? Are there lots of fish in the lake? What's the catch of the day? This here's a serpentine gray eel. Mopey, sandpapery old eel. I don't know how she'll fix him, but that sandpapery quality ought to do something for, what do they call it? Mouthfeel? Will you stay for a drink? I've got a dark rum that goes well with coffee. It's a bit early for me. I think we're about to leave, but thanks. It's a bit early for me. Yeah, seems like it's always too early. Oh, she's got your food ready. You'll enjoy your meal, alright? What does that mean? It's always too early.
This world is not my home. I'm just passing through. My treasures and my hopes are placed beyond the blue. Many friends and kin have gone on before, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, oh Lord, what will I do? Angels beckon me to heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. I have a loving mother up in glory land, and I don't expect to stop until I shake her hand. She's waiting now for me in heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, oh Lord, what will I do? Angels beckon me to heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore.
All right, another musical interlude, it seems. Maybe they'll finally release the album for this game. Is there anything here for me to check out? Can't believe our boy Conway's gone, man. What the hell? He's such an interesting character, and I feel like I'm not getting enough out of him. Like, he was super interesting in like the first and second episode, and then I feel like he's just become this like drunken sot. You know, he's just like it's all about the other characters and not him anymore. I really hope he has a redemption arc. Listen to the river. What does that mean? I don't think there's any listening to the river. Old diving bell. So now we're fresh and refreshed. We've got some food in our belly. Should be good to go. What is all that trash? See that? It just looks like a swirling mess of garbage, doesn't it? Well, that's what it is. I don't know why trash seems to collect right there. Of all the spots on the lake, it's always been that way. Everyone just navigates around it like it was an island or something. Look closely. You can see some wood scraps from an old canoe rental shop. I think I see some desks and chairs swirling around the edge. Those all-in-one desks like they have in schools. If I remember right, it's been a few years since I saw the inside of one. Those must have washed down from somewhere. I've never known there to be a school on the lake. Oh, there was Gemini School of Beauty. It was run by sisters Cassie and Paula, indistinguishable except for their haircuts. But I wouldn't think they'd have used desks like that. We used to stop there every night to let someone off for a cheap haircut. Student stylists, you know. They spared many a sailor the pain of a botched do-it-yourself do. But I guess they got in deep to the power company. Those blow dryers and curling irons burns a lot of coal. It's a shame they had to close down. The haircuts were gone, but the hair keeps growing. Yeah, this cluttered place makes a decent local museum. It's as good as a history as it could ever tell, as I could ever tell. We arrived at a small houseboat neighborhood that sometimes hosted concerts for the pleasure of residents, where Clara was scheduled that night to perform. Junebug and Johnny watched the show from the dockyard with the others. Act 4, Scene 9. A neighborhood. There goes the neighborhood. Oh. I remember this. I told you. Yeah, you don't have to say it. Only because it's always true. Ha! She played at the flower shop. Serrano opened. She was having trouble with her tape machine, so she just droned out of the lap still. He got really into it, and he went on for like forever. Everyone was falling asleep. I thought this was going to be another one of those music things. Not everyone. I remember the air was warm, perfumed. You were playing with some petals you found on the floor, and I was looking at the ceiling. I remember the ceiling was glass. During the week, that room was a greenhouse. I don't know where they put all the plants when they had bands in it. And maybe outside if the weather was nice. It was nice that night. Warm. Smelled like spring. I remember the folding chairs. So uncomfortable, but I guess it was their only option. They had to pack everything up during the week, so there'd be room to display the flowers. Wow, look at Ezra. He's wrapped. Ha. He's really into it. So, we were talking about him earlier at the gas station. Sure, I haven't forgotten, Cricket. Cool, yeah, I know. What do you think about Ezra traveling with us for a while? We were in the back, kind of looking around, people watching, passing messages in code, just watching Serrano. Serrano was really getting into it. We studied his technique. It's fun to watch his eyebrows when he plays. Oh, that's a dude. We just let it wash over us. We studied his technique. He plays it with his back. He plays it with the back of a pocket knife. Have you ever noticed that? I wonder why. I should have asked. I watched for a while before I noticed you left to wonder. Of course, I followed. If I sound hesitant or something, it's just when we met, we were nothing. Just these little gray shadows, and we grew and filled in, and we did all that together, Ezra. Sure, he's just a kid, but he's already a person. What would that do to our system, our chemistry? We stepped outside into the warm night air. We took a wrong turn in the hallway and ended up in the basement. There was a horse tied up in the parking lot. We turned left into an alley. We wanted to go find some food. Whose horse could that have been? We wandered between some low houses and came out into an empty street. Hey, I got the masters for the new record back from Lazar. They're okay, but What? You listened to them without me? You were at the pet shop. I didn't think I could tear you free. Oh, okay. Anyways, there are a few spots where the string's distorted a little, and the whole thing has way too much reverb, but overall it sounds pretty good. The new drum machine fits right into the mix. Nice. The only question is how to do it live. I can't control the drum machine and sing and dance at the same time, and you've got your hands full of guitar. There was a playground across. We stepped to a 24-hour convenience store. I remember the radio was playing some old Patsy Cline, right? Or was it Connie Smith? The clerk was reading one of those conspiracy / celebrity gossip / Bigfoot sighting newspaper. He bought a small bag of carrots for the horse. We bought some of those gummy pomegranate seeds. Yeah, you know what? Horses need carrots. The horse ate the carrots slowly and glumly. They're beautiful animals, horses. Everyone seems to agree. I think it's because they all look so sad. I have no love for horses. Honestly, don't care about them. We got back to the greenhouse just as Clara was tuning up. She relaxed her shoulders, took a deep breath, raised both hands into their precise positions, and the room started shaking. Clara hit a note that made the glass rattle. In sympathy, a perfect Clara hit a note that made the glass rattle, and sympathy a perfect 2 octaves lower. She looked like a sorceress tearing down the building with an effortless wave and incredible focus, coaxing the empty air into some kind of moaning, rattling demon. That's the thing about the theremin. It's the only instrument you never touch. You could see a wave of concern propagating through the greenhouse, people looking up at the trembling glass ceiling, looking at each other to see if anyone else was worried, trying to catch Clara's eyes and discern if she was doing it on purpose or not, if she were really trying to bury us all in glass. Wait, this is a girl. What the hell are they talking about? I'm just saying, maybe we could use a third pair of hands up there. Oh. Think you could teach a kid to play a drum machine? Ma'am, I could teach a dog to play a drum machine. Well, that'll be our backup plan. It was a tense 5 minutes. We, the audience, alternated between fearing for our lives and lamenting hers that could have given her the kind of emotional experience to play this devastating song. Then slowly, gently, Clara's hands came to rest. The theremin went quiet. The glass stopped rattling, and the room relaxed, unharmed. Beautiful. Does the kid's bird brother get to go with him? I mean, Javier, whatever that bird's name is. Can't just leave him behind. 2 peas are bad. I met a photographer once. I mean, one in particular. She even took my portrait. I can't imagine why. She said it would immortalize me. That was a metaphor, of course. She meant I'd never be forgotten. As she was disembarking, not far from here actually, the film fell out of her bag and was borne away by the current. I was working on deck at the time. She shot me a sad, apologetic glance, but I wasn't bothered. It's no shame to be forgotten. Well, what is that? Some kind of staircase? What the hell? What? Wasn't it supposed to be scene 10? How did I totally miss a scene? What? I thought that one, the last one was 9. Maybe I'm just super tired and an idiot, and I totally missed scene 10 or something. I don't even know where we are. Did I say 11 or 10? I am so confused. What's this place like, Dogwood Drive? It's in a small town, or I really don't know, huh? I've got the manifest the old man had in his truck here. Lysette's Antiques, mail order delivery, no return address, shipping address, 5 Dogwood Drive, packing list. And then it's just numbers, I guess. The inventory numbers of antiques he was supposed to be delivering. Anyways, I'm glad you're coming with us. Yes, I'm always eager to see more of the country, and I enjoy the company. I will have to find a bus or a train to get to Nashville by evening. Well, they have buses everywhere, right? Or hey, I could just drive you to Nashville. Seems I have a truck now, only how are we going to get it up these stairs? That's quite a staircase. Is there another route? A tunnel or something? Is there something we could do with a rope? A rope? You're gonna take a truck and... No. There's no way to get this truck up the stairs, is there? Is there another way? Is there another route? No way out but up. I guess we could wait for the mammoth to come back around and take us a little further down, but that won't be until late afternoon. Looks like we're making the rest of the trip on foot. Is it safe to just keep leaving the truck here? Is it safe to just leave the truck here? I don't even know what's in there. What if it's too much to carry? Nah, we've been loading and unloading gear since the stars were young. We're our own roadies, right? We've got expertise. To Johnny. All right, Cricket, let's get this delivery packed and tied into bundles. We're hiking it upstairs. What's in there? Antiques, I guess. Antiques? Yeah, antiques are... It's like junk, but people will pay for it. Oh. To Clara. Sorry, I guess you'll be taking the bus after all. It's okay. It will be an adventure. Shannon sighs and stretches. Tired? Don't worry, lady. We're almost there. Is that the end? Did I totally miss a scene? I might be crazy, but I totally thought I missed a scene. It's end of Act 4. Was there not a part 10? I'm crazy. I guess I'm crazy. Un pueblo de nada. So that's an interlude that'll lead into chapter 5. But for now, we are done. Yeah, so as you know, again, I'm going to have to split this episode up. I'm thinking it's probably going to end up, well, you would have already known by now, but I'm probably going to do 3 episodes or 2 episodes. So either way, I apologize for having to split this one up again. I don't know how long episode 5 is going to be. I don't know how the next couple episodes are going to be going, because I do want to, I actually do want to do the interlude before I do part 5, but I don't know if I'm going to do the interlude and then roll into part 5. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet. But yeah, so that episode was good. We got a lot of backstory, but I also feel like there was a lot of filler. I feel like there was about I don't know, like 45 minutes worth of content, or like maybe more, that we could have cut out, because it's introducing us to side characters that we really don't care about. But that's the thing about the game, is if you're playing it yourself, you could have just skipped that stuff. I choose not to, because, you know, they're doing world building, and I do appreciate that, and I completely understand why they're doing it. But I love the characters that they've written so much, you know, the main characters so much, that I just want more about them. So these side characters, it is what it is. And some are more interesting than others. But some people might find, you know, different strokes for different folks. Like that, you know, the restaurant we went to, I really liked that part. I thought they were super interesting. I didn't really care about the bats and the old dude fixing the bell or whatever. Like, I didn't really care about that. But I definitely liked the part where, you know, we went to the, we met up with the people from the Bureau again. Like, I like how all of that is connected. So, and I definitely want to know more about this distillery. And are we ever going to see Conway again, or is that just the end for him? I just don't know. But yeah, guys, I really appreciate you spending all this time with me, guys. Hopefully you're enjoying it. And we're coming up on the end here. We've got 2 more we got an interlude, we got chapter 5, and then the interlude, the finale interlude, I'm guessing. But yeah, guys, that's it for that one. I've got a lot of editing ahead of me, so I hope I got these out in a timely manner, but I'm sure I didn't. So again, I apologize for that. But yeah, other than that, guys, I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.